Hey everybody, this is a video that's going to explain to us the STIM lab that we will be starting for this week. It'll be somewhat of a long-term lab that we will do throughout this week, and what it's called is a STIM lab, which stands for something that interests me. The other kind of play on it is that we want it to be in something either science, technology, engineering, or math. So there's a lot of different routes that you can go on this. Those that are 10th graders, you did this in 8th grade, and those that are 8th graders, we've been doing this for quite a few years. So let me kind of explain the project, and then the sub will get you rolling with kind of what the next steps are. So at this time, you should have already gotten one of these, which is the handout or lab that goes with what we're doing. And so basically, we're kind of going through that process of science where we have an experiment, we try to figure out what causes a problem, and then we look at data to see whether or not that we are right. And so all of us have our own interests. We are sometimes into sports, band, video games, anything like that. And so this lab is very, very open, and we want it to be. We want you to be the creators of this. We want you to have genuine interest in researching this. So you get to control it, design it, conduct it. The only thing that we're a little bit handcuffed with is our timeline. So let's kind of take a look at some of the idea boards. I'm not sure how well you guys can read that or not. So if you want to do something, let's say you like flying or going on vacation, maybe you want to do something with air resistance and air dynamics. The 8th graders recently built kites or paper airplanes, and you could do something with the physics of that. The next one says laundry detergent. So, you could look at how do different fabric softeners, how do different laundry detergents help out remove stains, or which one's best. Ideally, we want it to be in class when you conduct this experiment, any of your experiments. So maybe bring that dirty laundry in and then maybe do some scrubbing here, whatever. Pressure on eggs. There's a famous egg drop experiment that you guys could all Google, or maybe you have heard about, but it's a good one. And it takes a look at kind of the idea of air resistance and the cushion and what type of benefits that serves for a falling egg. Sugar and soda, if you want to look at dissolving rates, or if you want to look at what dissolves well in water versus other substances. If you want to do something more with people, an interest inventory, where you kind of take a look at a problem or a questionnaire and see if there are any trends via the grade level. So maybe you do something with drinking behaviors, or maybe you do something with what type of brands are best, or what do you recognize best as brand, and there's a whole bunch of different things with interest inventory. Cleaning money, so you can take a look at how dirty your money is. That one you might want to consider maybe doing bacteria agar plates, or just taking a look at different coins and how they compare. Does copper tarnish worse or better than nickel or in a dime? Then probably the most famous one is the sports. You can basically do anything with sports. If you're a basketball player, maybe you look at the bounceability of different pumped up basketballs, or you look at what percent of the energy is kept from one bounce to the other. We did an experiment in 8th grade called the ball bounce lab. If you're a person who likes baseball, you could do something with bats, or what type of ball bounces best. Those of you that have technology with cameras and such, if you could get like a slow-mo video, that would be an excellent thing to do. Belly flops in water, almost pool time. So what causes the flop of a belly flop, or why can water striders go on the surface of water? Ones that's also been done in the past would be weed killer. So there's a homemade recipe with vinegar and salt, and you could check to see what does it kill, how well does it kill, how often. What's the difference between clay and Play-Doh, or how do you get Play-Doh that is more pliable? How do you get it so that it's more firm? And then lastly, if you're into mixing stuff up or seeing stuff bubble or fizz, vinegar and baking soda, taking a look at ratios and what works best with that. So again, the options are out there. This is just an idea board. You can do anything really that you want. The sub can kind of help you out if you want, or I will also have access to my email, so if you want to send me email, you certainly can do that. So let's go through the steps. So step one, what are the things that you like to do? So we want this to be something that you like doing. Think about a topic that is related to that thing that you like. So is it, made shots in basketball? Is it, what is the best angle to throw a football at? What type of hands are best to catch a football? If you're a band person, maybe you take a look at different tones and how that gives off more or less energy. So there's, again, a bunch of different opportunities. Then you're going to question, so what are you going to try to figure out? Design your experiment. This is probably the most important part. And then hypothesis and predict. So your goal today is to do the entire front side of this lab. And so as you're brainstorming, think about what you can do during class, what can you bring in to actually conduct the experiment. If you need to use stuff in here, that's certainly fine. I'll let you do that. If you have something that's a little bit fancier and you want to email me, you certainly can do that as well. So this front side is what's going to be due tomorrow. Okay, so we have a day for planning, and then we have several days for conducting the experiment, and then we have what we'll create is a poster. So as far as this project, we have the lab that you will complete, and then you will also complete a poster on whatever your topic is about, basically going through the scientific method. So as far as what you should be doing today, think about that stuff that you like, come up with a problem to it that you can do a lab with, and then the front side of this. The other thing with this lab is that if you mix up, or let's say that you don't get the results that you want, or it's kind of hard to, that's part of science. So if you need to adjust your experiment or do something different, you certainly can. And then as far as, who do I do this project with, or is it individual? The answer is you have the option. You can either do it by yourself, if it's something that you have an interest in, but maybe someone else doesn't, or they don't want to do the same lab as you, or you can do it with someone else. So if both of you like wrestling, if both of you want to look at the physics of football, if both of you like shopping, you can do something that is together. So creativity is up to you. This video is just to kind of give you a general idea of what we want to do. So take a look at the front side of this. The back side will be more so for later on this week as you actually collect the data. And if you are struggling to figure out something to do, you can always look online for different ideas. So with that being said, go ahead and either partner up or start working on this with yourself. We'll spend the next 2 or 3 days of our classroom time conducting these experiments. So it's going to be a little bit organized chaos, but a lot of good experimenting going on. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.